easiest cornbread ever. That is Jiffy. Um, Most of the time I make my own cornbread now, but I didn't start doing that until I was like in my 40s. So don't worry about it. Jiffy is excellent, or any of the pre-mixed stuff. Jiffy's just kind of sweet, and I like that. Martha White's pretty good. Um, Basically, you're just following the instructions on the back of the thing. The only reason why I'm even doing a video is so that I can emphasize what to do and what not to do with your cast iron skillet, because making cornbread and the cast iron gets you the best flavor. So right now I have my oven heated up to 425. I have some bacon fat in there getting heated up, but you can just put in like a little bit of canola oil or vegetable oil or whatever you have. Or once you start collecting bacon fat, you can use that, and you should always keep your bacon fat. I'm not country enough to do it like we did as a kid, which was in a coffee can in the pantry, but I keep it in a mason jar in the fridge. You can do the same thing, and it keeps forever, basically, either way. So we have 2 boxes of Jiffy because I always make a double batch. You're probably only going to need 1. But like I said, just follow the instructions on the back. So I have 2/3 of a cup of milk and 2 eggs, because that's how much it takes to make 2 boxes. So I'm going to put my eggs in with my milk, and that way I can just beat the egg inside that container instead of dirtying up another one. I'm trying to minimize my dirty dishes. And then also I try to clean as I go. That doesn't always happen, as you're well aware. You've been in the kitchen enough times to see how jacked up my stuff gets. So I'm just beating the eggs to get them mixed up a little bit with the milk so that everything mixes up pretty easily inside the bowl. And you can use a spoon. I like using my rubber spatulas because that's kind of what they're made for. And it lets me get everything out of the bowl when it's time. And usually with cornbread, you don't want to over mix it because it'll make it tough. You just kind of get until everything is wet and you don't have like any big clumps of dry stuff. Sorry, I'm going to put my trivet there because this pan's going to be hot. And I keep missing the fact that Boudreaux is sneaking into the shot all the time. He's nosy. Alright. So I probably got a tablespoon of bacon fat. It's heated up. And you just want an even coating on the bottom of the pan so that your cornbread doesn't stick. Just scrape everything into the pan. And then just kind of smooth it out. You have a spoon. That's what you'll use. Like I said, I have a rubber spatula. I recommend getting rubber spatulas if you do any type of cooking. Makes it easy. And then always remember, this cast iron skillet is hot as fuck. I burn myself every time, but not this time. Alright, so it's in the oven at 425. I think it's like 18 minutes. Let's see, 15 to 20. I usually shoot for like 18 to double check. I like mine kind of brown. So we'll set the timer for 18 and take a look. It may take up to 20, could take 15. You just need to figure out how your oven is at your new place. But we'll check it out when it comes out in 18 to 20 minutes. Or this sucker, rather. Ooh, lovely brown coating. All right, so basically now you just let this cool for a while. Once it's cool, take it out of the cast iron skillet. I mean, you could probably leave it in for a couple hours and it's no big deal. But if you leave it in overnight, it will, the corn mill is hydroscopic, so it starts to absorb water from the air, and then you end up getting rust on your cast iron, which you don't want. You want to keep it oily and nice and shiny, and it makes it where shit like this cooks evenly and pops right out of the pan. So after this cools a little bit, we'll pop it out of the pan, and hopefully there's no residue left, so we shall see. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, so we're going to go ahead and try to take this bad boy out. That's still hot as hell, so I got to be careful. Alright, so we're just going to run a knife along the edge, and it's pretty much just stuck like in one spot. Alright, there we go. Alright. Well, generally I try not to use my glove hand. Let's see, it's pretty well clean. And you got a little bit of stuff stuck in there, but it actually isn't stuck. It just kind of was in the pan. See? So again, you want to take stuff out of the cast iron before it gets anything wet. It's kind of a myth that you can't use soap in cast iron. If it's seasoned well enough, you can use soap and a rag. Don't use like super scrubber. On mine, I use like a little plastic scraper that I bought from the store that's designed for that. And then you basically use hot water, scrub it out. The idea is to just not let anything stick to it. So keep it well greased when you're cooking stuff. And then when you store it, I actually, after you wash it, put like a little teaspoon of oil in there and wipe it with a paper towel until it looks like it's pretty much gone. And then you, after you do that, you put it up, and like I said, don't let it get wet. And then the other thing on cast iron is that unless it's really well seasoned, you shouldn't cook anything acidic in it. So like no tomato sauces, nothing with a lot of acid in it, because it eats through poor cast iron seasoning. But the more you use it, the thicker it gets and the slicker it gets, and nothing will stick to it once it's seasoned right. So mine I redid last year or the year before that. This is like 70 years old, 60 or 70 years old, and I stripped it back down to the metal because the seasoning was jacked up after years of abuse. And then I started building up new seasoning over the last year, and like I said, it's pretty shiny and stuff really doesn't stick to it. So that's it. So cornbread, cut it up, eat it, it's yummy. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this lesson on cooking cornbread. The easy way, that is.